I just got to this incredibly intimate, tender-hearted place. There was a day that I was sitting in the visiting room with my dad after I'd gone to this women's retreat, and I'd shared for the first time in any group whatsoever that I'd seen my dad hit my mom. I knew I had to get real with my dad. I knew I had to speak up. I knew I had to tell him how I felt. That was the next step for healing our relationship. So I sat in, we were sitting in the visiting room, and he was holding my hand, and I told him, I said, Dad, I still couldn't tell him that I saw him, what I said in the retreat, but I did tell him, I said, Dad, Mom left you when I was a child because she was afraid of you. And that was really hard for me, Dad. It was really hard for me. I had to leave my school. I had to leave my friends. I was really scared that my mom was gone, and I didn't know when she was going to be back. And I said to him, and I admitted to him for the first time after all this time, I didn't realize how hurt I was. And my dad, he just reached out and he took my hand, and tears just welled up in his eyes. And he looked at me and said, I knew you were hurt. And we just sat there and we held hands, and we didn't say anything. But we were, at that moment, our hearts were completely connected. And it was the start of this relationship, a real, honest relationship. And I began to feel like the more I healed myself and the more I could be honest with myself, the more that he was healing. Because of this shift in the relationship with my father, I was inspired to tell our story. What a change from a little girl who was so afraid to tell anybody, who had to keep secrets, to now wanting to write a book, a memoir, about my dad, about our journey together. And I wanted to really share the possibility for other families, for other children, no matter what age, that it is possible. It is, and the name of the book I actually named was See You in the Sky, a memoir of prison, possibility, and peace. I wanted to show how my dad and I were able to come together, and how prison, whether it be in your mind, your body, or your soul, was where you start or where you're starting. But then the possibility of this way to heal, to be honest, to come together, to feel and know the transformative power of love, unconditional love. That's what my dad gave me. And that's what I gave my dad. And I wanted people to know that. And I wanted people to know that this is something to give them hope. It's something to bring them closer to the person that their loved one that's incarcerated. And I wanted to put a human face on the fathers, the sons, the mothers, the daughters, the people that are in prison. They're our people. They're the people that we love. And I wanted other people to know who don't have people in prison what it's like for us. And that, we have loved ones in prison. And that's why I wrote the book, and it's something that I was able to just pour my heart out and tell this story. And it was healing for me, obviously. I had to go back and relive some of these very difficult parts of my childhood, but I wanted to do that. I felt more motivated, and I knew I had the strength at this point to do it, and so I did. And I published my book in 2019, and many people have read it, and I've had these incredible now friendships and contacts with people, and I'm working with youth. I'm a life coach myself now, and I'm working with youth that have parents in prison or loved ones. And I just am so filled with being able to be capable and have done enough healing to be honest and to connect with people in a very intimate way.